Fly-in news. Supreme Master Ching Hai International Association's relief news update from Colombia. Following an earthquake near the capital city of Bogotá on May the 24th, heavy rains that had been falling for weeks continued, and a landslide covered 20 homes in the city of Medellin. With dozens who have lost their lives and many injuries, 100,000 are now homeless, while entire crops, roads and villages are isolated by floodwaters.
Supreme Master Ching Hai had heard of the earthquake and quickly made available $20,000 US, which is worth approximately $128,000 US in goods if purchased in the United States, based on Colombia's cost of living. Our association's relief team members also additionally contributed by covering their own traveling expenses, amounting to over $1,000 US as in similar cases. Greatly concerned for the affected families in need of aid, Supreme Master Ching Hai often asks for updates on the relief situation. With Master's permission, we are glad to share with viewers this report coming from our association's relief team in Colombia.
May the 31st, 2008, Most Compassionate Master, regarding earthquake and floods in Colombia. Upon learning of the earthquake in Colombia on May the 24th, Master immediately instructed us to survey the needs in disaster areas and contributed $20,000 US for relief aid. Days after the earthquake came storms and flooding. Our relief team from Costa Rica arrived in Bogotá on the night of May the 28th and joined Colombian Association members for relief efforts. The following is the updated information from the relief team.
Situation of the earthquake. The quake affected 9,001 people from 2,003 families in 13 municipalities, and the evacuated citizens are now staying in schools and sports buildings where their basic needs, including healthcare and food, are being provided. The victims need about 450 family tents, 1,000 blankets, and 1,000 basic food packages of non-perishable groceries. Caytamé is the most devastated municipality with about 2,000 people affected. The road to Caytamé was partially opened for material supplies, and the Red Cross is assisting with airdrops for unreachable areas.
Situation of floods. All but 5 of Colombia's 32 provinces have been affected since the rains began in March. At least 16 people have passed away because of the overflow of 2 main rivers. The floods have affected more than 100,000 people, damaged more than 10,000 houses, and destroyed crops in much of the nation's agricultural heartland. Also, flood-related illnesses in some regions due to insufficient hygiene have begun to emerge.
Survey from our relief team. Following Master's loving guidance, our relief team from Costa Rica arrived in Colombia on May 28th. On May 30th, along with the Colombian Association members, we visited disaster communities affected by the earthquake. Due to the collapse, it took a day to be able to reach some areas. In these communities, we found the families in need had already received urgent necessities like food and could choose to live in the shelters offered by the government and the Red Cross. Our relief team traveled more than 14 hours to visit the flood victims on May 31st. The affected families there had not received enough food at that moment and needed more help. Though the flood victims received food every day, sometimes it was only for their lunch. In total, there are 349 families affected in Honda and Bogotá. Flood victims need rice, beans, sugar, salt, oil, milk, flour, oats, noodles, etc. We will purchase the above relief items for victims. Our association members still cannot visit Caytamé quake area because the road is still closed. We are told that maybe the next morning we would be able to go. If it's available for us to get there, then we'll see how we can help the victims. We sincerely pray for the grace of God that all victims may be comforted and restored to their normal lives very soon. With love and gratitude, Relief Team from Costa Rica and Colombia.
We thank Supreme Master Ching Hai for allowing this message to be shared with our viewers who may wish to know about the well-being of fellow humans in Colombia. We also thank Supreme Master Ching Hai International Association's Foreign Group for these current reports. We pray for Colombia at this time and wish Godspeed for the rescue and relief efforts underway in the country. May the flood and landslide affected communities be restored as soon as possible to their fulfilled day-to-day lives.